Hi, this is Jen from the Family Community Health Science Department within Somerset County. I'm here in our kitchen and I'm going to make a creamy vegan cauliflower soup that's dairy-free. This is delicious. I found this recipe last year and tried it out and absolutely loved it. So it's very nutritious and it's warm and it's the perfect lunch or dinner to have today on this rainy day. Here in New Jersey, we're having a lot of cool rain. So in my pot, I already have one medium onion sauteing, not in oil, but in a little bit of vegetable broth. And now I'm adding in my veggies. I'm going to drop more broth. We're going to let that saute become a little soft. What I have added in there are 4 cloves of garlic. They were small. So again, depending on your flavor profile of how much garlic you like, you could use a little less or more. So a little bit of garlic in there. I have 4 medium carrots that I've just cut small and 2 ribs of celery. So that's going to saute in here for a few minutes. Okay, after that sautés for a few minutes, we're going to add the star of our soup, the cauliflower. Now, you can certainly use fresh cauliflower florets and just cut them up. You'll have to let them saute a little longer. I like to use frozen cauliflower. Okay, we're going to use 1 pound. So it's easier. I just bought just 1 frozen bag. It's thawed out a little bit, but it's perfect. So we're going to add this in a few minutes. And we're going to add vegetable stock. So if you want to keep this a vegan soup, use vegetable stock. We're going to use 6 cups. Again, I just buy that right in the box. Okay, let's check this. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our cauliflower. And I'm going to add the 6 cups of stock. I have 2 here left over from the meatball soup. And I have 1 box of vegetable stock. Okay, we're going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to put the lid on that to speed up the process. So once this comes up to a boil, then we're going to add the cashew cream, which is going to make it creamy and non-dairy. So what I've done is I have raw cashews, and I put really hot water in with the cashews and let them soak for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to drain them out now. Okay, I've just drained the water out of the cashews, and what we're going to do, I'm going to slide you over here so you can see the blender. We're going to put them into a blender. Then we're going to take a little bit of the broth just to give it a little liquid. And this is going to make like a cashew milk, which is going to make it real creamy and give it some nice flavor. So I'm just going to blend this until it's all smooth. I'm going to check it. It's still a little chunky, so I'm going to add a little bit more broth. Or you can even add water to it. You just want a nice, smooth consistency. Okay, let's check that. We're going to just a little bit, you know what, we're going to do a little bit more water. I have my hot water here that I was using. That's better, much better. Okay, I want to show you the consistency. Now this is just like a cream. It's like a chunky cream. It smells good. So this is how you make like nut milk, right? Okay, so we're gonna leave this here, and we are going to add that after the vegetables are all sauteed and this comes to a boil. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to come to a boil, I want to give a plug for a new feature that our department is putting out to you, and we need your help. We're coming out with a kitchen and cooking tool guide that we want to provide you with some tricks and tips for navigating around your kitchen and cooking. One of our favorite tools that we like to use, and I'm using today, is the immersion blender. So this is commonly used in soup. So we're going to use this today. It just has like a, right? So it's a blender and you put it in your pot. And we're going to use that today to make the soup really creamy. It's going to blend all those vegetables that we have cooking in the pot right now, the onions, the carrots, the celery, the garlic, and the cauliflower. And it's going to blend it and make it nice and smooth. So that definitely is a tool that I personally use a lot in the fall and winter months because I love making soup. You can tell last week, right, we made the meatball soup. Today's the cauliflower soup. I use it a lot when I make butternut squash soup. I bring that and cube squash, and then you use the immersion blender and it becomes really nice and smooth. So we want to hear from you. You can put in the comments below if you're catching this on the replay. Just put in the comments as you watch it, what is a favorite kitchen tool that you cannot live without? My favorite personally is the grater. And I'll have to pop on here with a video because if you've watched my videos now over the last few months, when I can, I always like to add some lemon zest or some lime zest, even orange zest to salads and chicken dishes and pasta dishes. And even when I'm baking, I just made a cranberry quick bread over the weekend. I took a fresh orange and added my orange zest in it just to give it that pop of flavor, that pop of citrus. That's personally my favorite tool is the zester. Okay, so we're waiting for this to come to a boil. Then we're going to add the cashews, and then we're going to blend it all together. Now the last ingredient that we're going to add at the very end is kale. You can choose to use spinach if you'd like. They didn't have regular kale in the grocery store, so this is baby kale. It looks very similar to spinach. So what I've done is if there were long stems, I kind of just picked off the stems. If there was a big piece, I kind of ripped it in half. But this is going to kind of be just like spinach, and it's going to just wilt as soon as I put this into the hot soup at the end. If you were going to use traditional kale and just get a nice big bunch of kale, what you're going to want to do is just cut off the leaves and discard the hard rib in the middle. You don't want that in your soup. And then you're going to let it cook for about 10 extra minutes because it is really tough. So if you're using the baby kale or the spinach, you can just dump it in to wilt. But if you're going to use the big bundle of kale, you want to cook that maybe for about 10 minutes. Okay, so this is almost boiled. Okay, we've added our veggies. Now, cauliflower, I mean, like I said, this is such a nutritious soup, and I think soups are a fantastic way to add a lot of vitamins and minerals into your diet. Cauliflower is kind of like the superfood, just like broccoli. It's kind of like a cousin. And traditionally, they're white. We've used white cauliflower for our soup today. Sometimes you've seen them purple, or they might be a little bit green or have an orange tint to it. It's all the same. It's all cauliflower. It's a great source of vitamin C. It's a good source of vitamin K, good source of fiber. And cauliflower is mostly all water. So so it's just light, it's refreshing, it's low in calories, and it has a lot of protective properties. It will protect your cells, kind of like an antioxidant. Has anti-inflammatory properties. So when you could eat those cruciferous vegetables, like a broccoli, like Brussels sprouts, kale is going to be in here. They're all related. Okay. So this is almost to a boil. All right, we're going to take out our favorite kitchen tool here. Don't forget, comment below if you're just joining us. What is your favorite kitchen tool that you cannot live without? All right, just a safety tip when you are using the immersion blender, okay? You want to keep this under the liquid. You want this to be under your liquid. If you lift it above your liquid, it will start to splatter everywhere, and this is hot soup. So you want to keep the blender pretty much touching the bottom. You can rotate it in a clockwise position. Sometimes they lift it up and down, but never coming above the liquid line. It has those big chunks in it, and then you kind of just nice mix it all together. Blended. I'm starting to see the color of the broth change. The carrot is getting absorbed, so it's getting now of that orangey tint to it, especially because we use the vegetable broth. And you'll notice too a foam layer coming across the top, and that's just because everything is getting mixed so bring you over because I know you can't see the pot. I'm just going to bring you over here so you can see a little bit of what it's looking like. It still has a lot of chunks in it, so I still have a ways to go. And I think now you can see how it's becoming real soft. So I'm going to continue to use my immersion blender and blend this all together. And then once it's all blended together, then I'm just going to add in my cream, my cashew cream. Give it another 30 seconds of blending it together. Make sure all the nuts are ground through. And then the finishing touch is adding the kale. I'll turn off the heat and then just let it wilt together. I will take a picture and show you the finished product, and I also will post the recipe in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the soup. I hope you make it. It's very comforting, very tasty, and very healthy. Have a great day.